Hello, seventh graders. Thursday, May 21st. First of all, I miss all of you guys. Number one. And number two, hopefully you're all safe and doing well. Beautiful day today. Would like to end the year with a small project, medium-sized project for the last assignment of the year. This one is on the bubonic plague. I just want to go through some information on the bubonic plague for you guys so you have some background knowledge. I think I sent all of you a kind of a small graphic organizer with four small ovals. And the oval in the middle says bubonic plague, Black Death, which means the same thing. And then I have two answers for each oval. Of course, there are more answers than two for each one, but as long as you write two down, you can write more down. I'm going to go through those ovals with you right now so that you have an understanding and some background knowledge on the bubonic plague. So it started in the 1340s and it came from China. Imagine that, boys and girls, came from China. Went to Africa and then it devastated Europe. And how did it spread? Well, it started with rats eating garbage, then fleas biting the rats and getting the blood from the rats, and then the fleas biting the humans. So it went from rats to fleas to humans as well as animals. Animals could get it as well. Once again, I said it began in 1340 from China and worked its way west to Africa, and it really hit hard in Europe. What were some symptoms of the bubonic plague, also called the Black Plague? High fever, very high fever. When I say high fever, I'm talking about 104, 103.7, just very high fever. It almost felt like you were burning up. With that also came a red ring around your neck. You'd also get blisters around your armpit area as well as your groin area. And then finally, sometimes you would even get what's called gangrene, where an area of your body turns black and it dies. And the only way to chance to live is to cut that area off. And that's called gangrene. You heard about a lot of gangrene in the wars. So one thing I want to add to the symptoms is maybe some of you have heard the song or have played this game called Ring Around the Rosie, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Well, that's kind of related to this bubonic plague, and the kids would play that before they died. And if they had the bubonic plague, the ring around the Rosie would be the rash that they got. A pocket full of posies are like flowers that they would smell because of all the death around, dead, decaying bodies in the city. And then ashes, ashes, what happened is when the people died, they would make piles outside the city of dead people, and then they would just burn them. And it was a awful, awful smell. And then when we all fall down, everyone dies, which when I was little, we played that in gym class, I remember, and no idea that it made a connection to real life and the bubonic plague in Europe. So moving on to the third oval. And the third oval is, what did it do to Europe? What did it do to the death toll? First of all, it killed 25 million people in just 2 years in Europe. And over a period of 10 years, it killed roughly 1/3 of Europe's population. So it was a deadly disease, and it spread very quickly to the people. Some of the very rich in Europe were able to flee it, get away from it, because they had transportation to get away. But many of them were too poor to get away from the disease, and the disease caught up to them and infected one or two of the family, and then everyone got it, and then they would all die. And the last oval is a long-term effect. First of all, in the winter, the bubonic plague did not spread because the fleas were not out. Fleas could not survive in the cold temperatures. So in the wintertime, bubonic plague did not spread. Also, in the 1900s, there was a cure for the bubonic plague, but again, it didn't happen until the 1900s. In the earlier, I said it began in the 1340s in China, and there was not a cure until the 1900s. So a long period of time before they came up with a cure for this deadly plague or disease called the bubonic plague. That's all I have for you. I like to make the connection from the bubonic plague, which is a deadly disease, came from China, from rats, to coronavirus 19, which we have, and they say it came also from China, which 1340 to 2020, it's long apart time, but again, another deadly disease that's killing many people here in the United States and all over the world as well. So that's a little background knowledge on the bubonic plague. Hopefully it helped you fill out your graphic organizers. Tomorrow is Friday and the Memorial Day weekend begins. And make sure, since I'm a history teacher, that if you have a veteran or someone that fought, a military person, make sure you say thank you to them for representing us and keeping our freedom. It's a special day on Monday. Make sure you do something special for those people that you have or that you know that served in the military for us. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather, guys. I miss you a lot. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And we're on our last stretch, guys. Finish strong, and hopefully you can get this done in a couple days. Talk to you later. Peace out.